Are you an outdoor enthusiast committed to taking on a high-altitude adventure? Then it is important to familiarize yourself with acute mountain sickness, its cause and effects, what to do when diagnosed, and the best method to avoid it. What is acute mountain sickness? Acute mountain sickness, or AMS, is an illness that affects individuals who are participating in activities at high altitudes. This is due to the body experiencing lower oxygen and pressure levels. What is considered high altitude? High altitude can be separated into three distinct categories: high altitude, 8,000 feet to 12,000 feet, very high altitude, 12,000 feet to 18,000 feet, and extreme altitude, 18,000 feet and above. At these altitudes, oxygen and pressure levels are significantly less than that at sea level, having adverse effects on the human body. It is when individuals climb to these heights too rapidly, expending a lot of energy, that they risk experiencing the effects of AMS. AMS can be categorized into three progressive stages: mild, moderate, and severe. Individuals experiencing mild AMS exhibit symptoms such as dizziness, fatigue, shortness of breath, and loss of appetite. In moderate AMS, the initial symptoms become more intense and are accompanied by a loss of coordination, severe headache, nausea and vomiting, and tightness in the chest. At this point in the progression, individuals are at risk of pulmonary edema, which is fluid building up in the lungs. An individual experiencing severe AMS has now lost the ability to walk on their own, is showing signs of confusion, has a severe cough, and appears bluish or gray in color. At this point, the individual is at high risk of not only pulmonary edema, but cerebral edema, which is fluid buildup in the brain. Without proper action, death is likely. What steps should be taken when AMS is diagnosed? In mild cases, stopping the ascent and taking time to rest will calm the symptoms, and within a day, most individuals will no longer feel the effects of AMS. In moderate cases, when the initial symptoms have not improved, the individual needs to descend to a lower elevation until the symptoms subside. Anyone experiencing severe AMS and who cannot move on their own will need to be transported immediately to lower elevations and given supplemental oxygen if available. In these cases, emergency medical services need to be alerted. Although AMS is a risk to all high-altitude adventurers, you can take some very basic steps to avoid it. Allow your body to acclimatize. This means allowing your body to get used to the new conditions and environment. To do this, individuals need to ascend to high altitudes gradually, planning adequate rest times. This is important when planning your trip because you will need to plan for an appropriate campsite along your hike or climb. It is recommended that in high altitude environments, individuals ascend no more than 1,000 feet a day. So if you are planning a high altitude adventure, remember to plan your trip responsibly and avoid rapid ascents. Remain diligent as to the symptoms of AMS, especially in others, as you may find yourself aiding someone in need. Being familiar with AMS will ensure a successful adventure. And thank you for listening.